North Atlantic Coast 3.
Hey, howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to my August 10th, 2025 StreamYard. Why? Because I can. Why can I? Because I paid for it. It's mine to use for the year, and I'm going to use it. Hope everybody had a great evening last night. Hope you got lots of rest. Hope you slept well, got lots of REM, and woke up this morning full of vim and vinegar. That's for darn sure. I was trying to think of some of the older movies yesterday. I actually went to bed last night thinking about this. Some of the older movies where you got really good actresses and actors. Realistic stuff. Stuff that could actually happen. And I keep thinking of that one frickin' movie with the St. Bernard that got bit on the nose by a rabid animal, and I can't remember if it was a raccoon or a bat or what it was, but it had rabies. And I'm thinking it was called Cujo. That's what my memory is telling me, is it was called Cujo. It was a good movie. It was a realistic movie. From my memory, it involved a little boy that I think he was diabetic or something, and his mom. And I don't remember a dad in the movie. It involved the police department, and I believe two officers were done in, I'll put it that way, unalived by Cujo. It was really, it was a really good movie. It was a good movie. It was kind of sad, but it was good. But, you know, the mom and the little boy won out in the end. And like I said, it was realistic. That kind of stuff most definitely can happen. Darn, I don't know what the deal is, but it just booted me. I never touched anything. It just booted me. Yeah, it was called Cujo. It was a big St. Bernard. Hey, PD, how you doing? No, it wasn't the wrong button. I don't know what the heck happened. I didn't touch anything. Maybe time to reboot the laptop again. I got enough tabs open, let me just say that. That's for darn sure. Anyhow, was thinking of some of the old TV series. St. Elsewhere, Grey's Anatomy. You can't even find St. Elsewhere stuff on the free channels. You know, the you get on Freevee, you get on Tubi and that, and you try and look for those. They don't even come up. It's pretty crazy. They just don't. I don't think the actors and actresses of today could even play this stuff. I could be wrong, but I don't think they got it in them. And I was a minute or 2 minutes late starting because I was finishing up supper. So I thought I had more time and I didn't. So it is what it is, you know. Let's see. See if we can. No, I don't want that one. No, I don't want that one. I guess I'll go back to that one. Because that takes all of the background out. I was thinking it would make that box smaller, but it's not. Even some of the westerns, man, some of the old westerns. I actually found that movie. It was called True Grit. And it wasn't the one with John Wayne. I mean, John Wayne was okay in some of the movies, but and now the guy's name escapes me. I had it and it just flew right the heck out of my head. So I got 105.8 degrees. That's 106 degrees at stream time. It's hot, but it's cooler than it has been. I don't know. Platoon was an awesome movie. I knew a guy other than my husband before we met, before my husband and I met, that I was pretty young at the time, and he had been to Korea. And I used to like to listen to some of the stories he'd tell me that went on. He pulled out some pictures, actual pictures. I know, Patriot. It absolutely freaking could, you know. I have had storms here with hail. You know, but I mean, you compare 105 to 121.8. I mean, geez, there's no comparison. But anyway, this guy had been to Korea, and he was a war vet, and he pulled out some actual pictures of, I don't know how to put this tastefully. So I guess I'll just say it. This guy fornicated with a very young girl, and it was not on a mutual understanding that it was going to be okay if they did that. So some of the guys in the service, and this guy was a service guy too, by the way. They put a hemp rope over a tree, made a noose, and they hung him. So you'd be surprised how far your neck will stretch, according to that picture. Yeah. So anyhow, another good movie is called The Judge, and it stars Robert Duvall. And Jesus, I can't. It's something Downey Jr. Oh, these are not copied movies. This is a Blu-ray disc. Robert Duvall and Robert Downey Jr. And I'll show you a picture of the front of it. Here's a picture of the front of it. The Judge. And as you can see, Robert Duvall is the judge. Robert Downey Jr. is a son. There are two other guys that play sons. One has, I don't know, he has some mental problems. And Duvall and Downey Jr. Getting some pretty good arguments. He has a brother in this that could have been he could have been an absolute fabulous pitcher. But he had gotten in a car accident with Robert Downey Jr. when he was young, and he lost his ability to do that. Jeff Bridges was, it was Jeff Bridges, Matt Damon, and according to the front of this package, it's Josh Brolin. It's called True Grit. No. John Wayne made a movie that was called True Grit too, but John Wayne's movie isn't anything compared to this one. And I saw Jeff Bridges in this movie, and I thought, who the hell is that? Because to me, it doesn't look like Jeff Bridges. And I'll show you what I'm talking about if you look at the front of this. There's Jeff Bridges. He is a fabulous actor. Let me just say that. Avatar was another one. And I went and I saw this one. I went and saw this one 3D. Avatar. And this is a Blu-ray. It's a Blu-ray disc. It's a fabulous movie. Fabulous. The one with Jeff Bridges. I mean, I got a whole stack of movies in here. On Golden Pond. I mean, that was a fantastic movie. And, you know, that Katharine Hepburn played the mother, Henry Fonda played the father, and Jane Fonda played the daughter. And On Golden Pond was a fantastic movie. And again, this is a Blu-ray disc. Most of the discs that I have that I bought are Blu-rays. Hey, this is On Golden Pond. That is a fabulous movie. It's actually something you can see happening. You can see people living this way. Right now I've got True Grit in the Blu-ray player. And if you're gonna buy a, you know, something that plays DVDs or Blu-ray discs, you always want to get the highest that you can get, and then you can go down from there. Another movie that I loved was Up. It was a movie called Up. I saw Sean Paul Reyes in a audit, and there were two cops in there, and the one was so freaking old. It was an old woman, and she reminded me, when you looked at her, this is what you saw, only it was a female version. It was Up from this movie. Another awesome one, Broken Trail. Again, Robert Duvall. Fabulous movie. And I don't think there's anyone anymore that can play these parts and pull it off. Shawshank Redemption. Fabulous movie. Full Metal Jacket. I mean, I got these movies coming out of my ears. American Sniper. This is an awesome. This tells you what happens to you when you go to war. That's what you get. That's what I got out of this movie. This is how it ruins your life. This one here, you can't even find this to play it on TV anymore. The Outlaw Josey Wales. His son, as a little boy, played in that movie. It's just fabulous. Nobody can pull these parts off anymore. They can't do it. They cannot do it. I can't think of anybody that, if they turned around and they reproduced these movies exactly the way they are, you know, from back in them days when they made these original movies. Two Mules for Sister Sarah. That's another one. You can't find, other than Jeff Bridges, in True Grit. I think he could pull it off. I don't think that the rest of the actors, I don't think could pull these off. Actors and actresses, I don't think they could do the movie justice. Put it that way, I guess. And I got so many freaking movies, and I didn't even bring them. These are movies that I've bought that I just had to have. I had to have these to bring them, to bring them with me. But he, God, where's that other one? Hondo. This is when John Wayne was young. Hondo. I mean, these are fabulous. This is a fabulous movie. You can actually put yourself, he was a good actor. You could put yourself in that movie and see it happening. And I've got a lot of other westerns that are in this case. My husband made me 3 of these. I brought one of them with me and left the majority of my movies at home. But I'll show you. I don't want you to see the pictures on the top. These are all slots. These are all slots that these movies go into. And it's good sized. I don't know how many movies that this holds. But he made me 3 of those. These were just for the living room. I've got old PC games. Here's one. How many people have ever seen this original? This came from Taco Bell. This came in a Happy Meal. My Sims. This is the original disc. Yeah, I have the original disc. But this came from Taco Bell. See? Taco Bell. And this goes on a PC. Doesn't go on a computer. And then I've got University Life for Sims 2. Seasons and Fun Pets for Sims 2. So.
I got a horse DLC.
Yeah.
Horse DLC.
Yep. So. Quit making my dog ruined. You've got her wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
I know you do. See you later, Scott. Yeah. So, old movies, guys. What were your favorite old movies? I've got so many, I can't. I mean, everything I just showed you is my favorites, part of my favorites, and the rest of my favorites are in this case. Full Metal Jacket. The list goes on and on and on and on. The Undefeated with Clint Eastwood. A Man Called Horse. How long has it been since you've seen A Man Called Horse? I've got that movie right here. And I think that went into like 3 or 4 different movies. Come on, where'd you go? Cahill, In Harm's Way, Rio Lobo, True Grit. See, this is the True Grit movie with John Wayne instead of Jeff Bridges. And sorry, Wayne, but you sucked in this movie when it comes to the other guy. That's what I said. There's more movies than one that are named True Grit. There's a Man Called Horse. This is an excellent movie. Absolutely excellent movie. Richard Harris played in this. Charge your phone.
It is charging.
Yeah, well, that's good. You should have charged it in before now. This is an absolutely excellent freaking movie. Nobody can play these movies. Nobody can play these movies like in my opinion, like the original artist. It's impossible. They can't do it. The Unforgiven. You try and find this movie. Try and find this movie with Clint Eastwood. You can't do it on any of the free services or paid services. The things that these people did to that man of color right there. It's something else. And the original Man Called Horse, you can't find that one either. When the heck was this made? See if it tells me. (1976). 1976. See? When it played at the shows at the drive-ins. This is back when you had drive-in theaters, guys. It was in black and white. This is colorized. Hey, Gone Fishing, how you doing? Braveheart, Gran Torino, Last of the Mohicans, The Patriot. Here's one for you, Patriot Defense. The Patriot. The Patriot. Mel Gibson. This was in, geez, I don't even see a date on the back of this one. It's got to be in all this, where you need a triple magnifier to read the fine print, see the fine print. So, Troy, The Green Mile, excellent movie. Excellent movie. See, so there were movies that I couldn't live without that I brought. Tired, but otherwise good. I mean, great. Good. Cold Mountain. That's another good one. How many of you people have seen Gran Torino? There's a lot of you out there who've never even seen it. And that, again, is Clint Eastwood. And it's not a Western. It is not a Western. I saw a thing where, was it Hulu? Is closing as of 2027, I guess. Or 2020, the end of 2026. The Color Purple. I had 2 of these. I ordered it when I ordered this movie. And this is Blu-ray. I ordered this movie. And they sent me 2 of them. So I gave one of them away. Oh, wow. You know how lucky you are to have owned a video store? Gone Fishing? And welcome to the stream, Gone Fishing. But, I mean, that's my sleeping pill. I always watch it through, and then I'll start it over again. And sometimes I'll watch it through again. And I've seen these movies so many times. And by the time it runs its third time, then it's a sleeping pill. You know. They had a movie rental store not far from where I lived when I lived in Rockford. And I had a membership with it. And you could go in and rent the movies for as long as you wanted to rent them. And then when you were done with them, you just took them back and dropped them in the Dropbox. Now they've got Redbox. I wouldn't know how the hell to use Redbox to begin with. There ain't anything there that, other than the Avatar movie. But if you've never seen Avatar at a theater in 3D, you're missing out. You're just plain missing out. Well, that's too bad. That's too bad, Gone Fishing. Talk about games. If you had movie rental, you had games too, right? Do you remember the movie Frogger? I've still got the movie Frogger. It's not a movie, it's a game. I've still got the game Frogger. Pong was, Pong I thought was a waste of time. Didn't take anything to do that. Miss Pac-Man and Pac-Man. There is a pattern with Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man that you can beat that game if you can figure out the pattern. I played it so much I figured out the pattern. Kong. Remember the game with the different levels of Kong? And it would jump up and down and change the screen every time it would jump. But those were my favorites in games, other than The Sims. There used to be an adventure game that I just loved. It's called Black and White. And you could make monsters, and you could make villages, and you could make, oh God, you could make marriages, and you could build houses, and you could. It was a fabulous game. It was a fabulous game. And my grandson got me into that game, and it was called Black and White. They've got some game that I can't, Jesus God, I can't get into it. It's just, it's gross. But games are just like movies. For me, if it doesn't grab me within the first 15 minutes, I won't watch it. I'll shut it off. I'll go to something else. Yeah, well, there isn't anybody that cannot say, basically the same thing. Yeah, I can't believe you're in the old house again there, Gone Fishing. But today, and it's been this way for E.T. You remember E.T.? The last time that I took my mother to a show was to see E.T. I don't have that one on disc. It's just another movie that popped in my head, And my mom passed in 1986. Yep. The wheelchair is no longer popping apart. It took, I think, 5 trips. I think it was 5 trips yesterday, total trips to get them to figure it out what the deal was. Every time I'd back up, the top lid over the batteries would pop open, and the side panel and the bottom panel on the side would dislodge and pop open. And it was because of the way they put the batteries in. But the guy made it right. He didn't charge me for any of them 5 trips, which was a good thing. Yeah. I think that's fabulous, Gone Fishing. I think it's fabulous. Very happy for you. All the old neighbors are there. That's great. Yeah, you'll have a good time. You're going to be having a lot of barbecues, I'm thinking, and going to a lot of them, too. Too bad you don't have my recipe for homemade barbecue sauce. Back in the day when I made that, it was a sweet barbecue sauce. It didn't have any bite to it. And every time I would make chicken, you can use it on chicken, you can use it on pork, you can use it on beef. I've never tried it on fish. Uh, I don't know if I'd like it on fish because it was a sweet barbecue. And I've never had barbecue sauce on fish before either. Oh wow. Well, I made mine. You started mine out with the biggest bottle of ketchup you can find. And then you get a pound of brown sugar. Um, you empty the ketchup bottle, and I mean completely empty it in a saucepan. Rinse it out with water. Just enough water to rinse the bottle out. Dump that in the saucepan. Get a pound of brown sugar. Put that in there. Get the ketchup. You got to get the ketchup good and hot. Paul N. Fullerton. Boy, it's been a while since I've seen you. How you doing? I've been looking for you. Been going to different streams and stuff looking for you, Paul. I wanted to get a cover for my new my iPad. Whatever the hell it call it. I've got a cover for the old one, but I bought a new one and upgraded it. Yeah, I know. I haven't seen you anywhere. Have not seen you anywhere. You know what they say? There's an old saying, Paul. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. you know. And I've got to wait until Monday to drive down to Nogales. And I don't have a problem waiting. I've got enough smokes here to get my new brand that I smoke. But what I wanted was your advice on where I could get a case on an 8 or a 9. Come hither, bud. Oh. Yeah, it's this one. And I got a new glass for it too. So, but this is an 8 or a 9. So I finally just bit the bullet and said, I don't care. Just give me something that fits it. 'Cause I got the old one and I've got the new one. And I got to send I want to send the old one. Because I've transferred everything off of the old one onto the new one. And I think the old one came out back when the fires came out. If you remember how far back that's been. So, but welcome, Paul. So anyway, to get back to the barbecue sauce, use ketchup, and brown sugar. Then you get dried bay leaves and you mutilate them into powder. You put those in there. You put no sugar, please. You don't need sugar. You don't need white sugar in this because you've got the brown sugar. A little bit of salt, And I would use white pepper, not black. And then you just go through your spice cabinet. And, you know, what I did was I smelled the spices and I thought, I didn't even look at what they were called. And I thought, yeah, that'll go in there good. And I put a little bit of sprinkle of that in there and a little sprinkle of the other one in there and then sprinkled the other one. So I can't tell you how to absolutely make my sauce, but I've never seen anyone that didn't like it. So it was pretty neat. I've been reading my GROL and radar book a little bit. Bride has a phone issue. Oh my. Well, gone fishing, you better get on it. Get after it. I turned my automatic updates off because on my phone, my iPhone, because with some of the updates it is done, I use Google Maps, and one of the updates took away one of the very good features that I really enjoyed on Google Maps. And it kind of ticked me off, so I won't do any more automatic updates. They can take their updates and put them where the sun don't shine. That's what they can do. And why can I say that? This is why I can say that. Because I don't give a red rat's ass. That's why I can say that. And I really don't. Yep. I only go for 2 hours anymore. And there are times I don't even go for 2 hours if I run out of things to say because nobody wants to come up. You know, I get tired of just talking to myself. Nobody wants to come up on panel. It just is what it is. I've got I've been attempting to oh, here's 2 old credit cards I got to get rid of. I've been attempting to get this guy to quit calling me from a business over a leg brace. That I'll be damned if I get caught dead in it. And I kept telling him, this isn't really what I'm looking for. And he made it anyway, and then charged my insurance company for it. And I won't go pick it up. And he keeps calling, so I blocked his phone number. I'm just not going to do it. I've got some vital statistics reports coming that are going to financially help me out a little bit. If they ever get here. Back when I signed up for full Social Security, they wanted my marriage certified copy of my marriage license. And they said they would return it. Well, they lied. They never returned it. And I was attempting to get a certified copy of that and a certified copy of something else that I'm not going to say. Hey, Mr. Abe. Yep. So I checked the outside temperature on this piece of garbage van that I drive. It gives the outside temperature. And I checked the outside temperature and then come home and checked the ThermoPro. And guess what, Abe? They were the same. It didn't give me the tenths, but it gave me the degrees. The plain degrees. And they were the same. It was 109 the other day. That's when I checked it. So and I had Panda Express the other night. And whenever I get Panda Express, I told Scott, I says, you going to go pick it up, or, you know, what's going on here? You want me to go pick it up? You want to go pick it up? He says, I'll go pick it up. It's no biggie. I was okay. That was 2 meals. That was 2 evening meals. So I did good there. But I wanted to let you know that the ThermPro matches the outside temperature gauge on the car. And the temperature is taken from the outside mirrors. So see, what else can we talk about? I'm not really hitting the GRL book all that hard there, Abe, but I'm starting to read it. It's all in frickin' Greek, as far as I'm concerned. Of course, I probably shouldn't say that because I'm Greek. My mother was Greek. Yep. I'm damn happy to have these new batteries in this machine, though. I'll tell you that. And the 2 batteries that were taken out of this have the date of install written right on the top of it, and they should not have gone bad. They didn't have enough time on them to have gone bad. Just saying. So But the guy that put the new ones in says, "Man, I'm sorry we had all this trouble." He says, "I didn't see the straps and yada yada this and yada yada that, and yada yada this and yada yada that, and then there was this screw, and then there was these nuts, and I didn't see those." And he said, "It's all my fault. And it doesn't matter. You got it fixed. It's fine. It's just fine." But I'd no more than go over there and he'd do his thing to it. And when I'd come home and I got down out of the van on the slide and I backed up, it would go pow and it would all come apart again. So then I just get right back up on the slide and go right back up in the van and close the van up and pull up the slide, close the door, and go right back over there and say, "Guess what? I'm sorry, but look." Every time I'd back up, it only took 4 foot, back up 4 foot, and then boom. And when it would happen would be when I would get down out of the van, I'd come around the slide on the bottom and then pull up to the van, push the button, the slide would start to come up, and I would sit there and wait for the slide to come up and fold and then pull up straight, and then the door would start to close, and then I'd have to back up. And when I'd back up about 4 foot, man, everything went to kaput again. So they finally got that done. But these batteries they're only guaranteed for a year. But they are sealed deep cycle. Thanks to Abe, I've got a copy of the book now. And I haven't printed it yet, but I'm going to print it. I'm going to double side print it. I'm going to do it in color. And then I'm going to put them in sheet protectors. And now that they've got all the school supplies and stuff out for sale, I'm going to get one of those things and put it in a cover and stick it in this back of the seat. Because I never got a book with this. Never got a stinking book with this wheelchair. What is that? Oh, okay. I know what that is. Yep, that's right. We had that 18-foot IO that had the car engine in it, and it set right in the back of the boat, and it had a big cover over it, and it had a car engine in it, so it had car battery in it. Come on, hurry up. Thank you. It's 6 bells, so. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know they won't. I know, and I don't get why, because if it's for a trolling motor, all you're doing is draining. You're not putting anything back in. But if you're, That 18-foot IO we had, that Mark Twain. Man, it was a good water skiing boat. It was a good fishing boat. It was a deep V tri-hull. The only thing you didn't want to do is you didn't want to, because you had to put the retrieval ladder up on the front over the side. You did not want to approach the person that was in the water from the left side of the boat. You had to keep the nose away from whoever you were going to pick up. That's for doggone sure. I can show you one spot in that river down by Oregon. There's about we had a fish finder on there too. Depth finder, fish finder. Their ladder was in the back. Well, this wasn't a built-in. This boat didn't have a built-in ladder. It's one you hung over the side. So you couldn't just put it there and leave it. You had to put it out every time you wanted to use it and then take it back in, or you'd knock it off and it would sink. And Monday I'm going to go to this clock shop and see if I can get this old feller by the ear and make him come to my house, fix that clock. Yeah, ours wasn't built in. Ours was one that he kept. He had an old orange boat that was another deep V tri-hull. And he went and bought another one just like it because the Mark Twain we had didn't have the built-in ladder. So we took that to his uncle's farm in Iowa. He had 110,000 acre man-made lake down there. And we used to take it out on the Rock River in Rockford. But down by Oregon, there's a hole that's about 20 to 30 feet deep. And that river has a lot of undertow. And you do not ever want to put your feet down so you're like standing in the water, but you're treading. No, you don't do that. Because it will grab a hold of your feet and it'll pull you right under. That's what it did to me once. And I fought water and fought water and fought water to get back up. And when I came back up, I was underneath that deep V tri-hull. And all I could do was invert myself. I pushed myself straight down as far as I could go and then turn around, come right back up. And I was about 40 foot away from that boat. Yeah. Ours had a V8 in it. I don't know what size. I don't remember what size engine it is. Man, you're talking, Jesus Christ. I can't even tell you how many decades ago. I don't remember the size of the engine. I remember it was a V8 though. We used to have a lot of fun with that. Hell, we'd take the kids when they were young. There's not very many years between the oldest and the youngest. I think there's like almost 3 years difference between them. and the youngest was just a toddler. And, you know, she was crawling. She was just a toddler. And the oldest one, of course, was talking. That's about it. She was saying words, knew some words to ask for what she wanted. But we would go out fishing all night. I mean, the inside of that boat was plush as hell. The seats, they folded down. And they were nice and plush. The youngest one, we'd have, you know, my husband was a big believer in using dew worms for bait. I liked using shrimp for bait for what I was going after. He'd have a metal 3-pound coffee can sitting there with dew worms in it. And I remember she had woke up and she come crawling over and she found that damn 3-pound can of dew worms and stuck her hand in there and come out with a whole fistful of dew worms. And I just caught her before she tried chowing down on them. And she was still on. She still had a pacifier. She'd go to bed, go to sleep with a pacifier. Yeah, we had tent. We used to camp with tents. There was a campsite that we would use down there, and we'd go down there and then we'd take the boat out. And then there were times we just drove down and to the boat launch and launched the boat, parked the vehicle, and we'll go just for the day. So we did it both ways. We had a lot of fun, though. Gosh, we had a lot of fun. I can remember my husband making a shocker for dew worms when dew worms got so doggone expensive to buy. And he made a shocker out of a metal rod. Plug up a drop cord to that. And you take it out and push it down in the ground. Of course, you'd have to water it really good first. Push that down in the ground and then plug it in. And the dew worms can come right up and corkscrew right out of the ground. You just walk around, pick them up, throw them in the can. What? You non-service dog? What's the deal? What's the deal? Did Scott shut the bedroom door on you? Did he? Did Scott shut this bedroom door? He did, didn't he, old squinter? Yeah. Yep. She hates to have her tail messed with or her feet, her nails. She doesn't like it. She doesn't growl. She doesn't bite. Glamping? Yeah, well, that's what it is. Glamorized camping. I mean, we would have campfire and all that stuff, and we'd build a nice campfire. We'd walk around and find some nice sized rocks, clear off a spot, make a nice campfire. The kids could toast marshmallows. We cook hot dogs. We had, I still have those at home, these things too. They look like a two-prong fork, and they're on about a 4.5, 5-foot pole. And you can do, put a hot dog across those two, or you can do marshmallows, whatever you want. And then when we had the kids, we got a tent. And then we got army cots and sleeping bags. And then we'd spend the night down there. Then we got a Winnebago at one point, and that slept 6 or 8. I can't remember. It's been too many years, 6 or 8. And up over the driver's seat and the passenger seat were like bucket seats, really comfortable. Right up above that, there was like a landing up next to the ceiling. It was down probably halfway from the ceiling to the top of the bucket seats. And you could sleep 3 kids up there. Yep, dump stations always, as far as I don't remember, the dump station when we had that Winnebago was always on the way out. And a dump station didn't take that stuff for free either. So, you had to pay to get them to take that. So, but all they did was they dumped it in a underground what the hell do you call it? My husband would kick my butt. I haven't used these terms for 20 some years. Sewer, it's like it's an underground sewer system that separates everything and separates the solids from the liquids, and it disintegrates and goes in the ground, in the water supply where it's supposed to. Septic tank. There you go. Septic tank. Our rental property, we put in a new septic tank. It was 10 grand, and they guaranteed the water was pure on the other end. And the guy would, even after he set it up and he came back 4, 5, 6 months later, something like that, and proved that it was pure water. That was a $10,000 septic tank. Yeah. One year we put new roof on the rental property and aluminum siding. The roofing was 10 grand. The siding was 10 grand. And we put in the septic tank. That was 10 grand. 3 years in a row, 10 grand. And never financed a dime of it. But that's stupid. Let me just say that's stupid. Unless you've got a mortgage, you got to have something to write off. When you got rental property, you got to have a mortgage or something to write off the interest. You got to have interest to write off, even though you've got renters living in there. And then we would always put a 15 year balloon mortgage on it. And then we would just refinance it. We get it paid down so low, the rent would cover the cost of the mortgage payment and the insurance. I mean, that's the way to run a business. It doesn't cost you anything. You write everything off. Your income pays your bills. your rent payment. We bought that for $52,000 and sold it for 115 in our pocket walking away. 115,000. That's how long ago that's been. That was a 3-bedroom, 1 3/4 bath, attached 3-car garage on an acre lot. And then we asphalted the drive. Yeah, I don't remember what the hell they called it. I left that all to my husband. My husband was a plumber. He knew what the hell he was doing. He'd been a plumber for, we were married for 35 years, and he was an apprentice plumber when I met him. So I left all that stuff up to him. And I told him, I said, I'm not going to be making any decisions in this. And we had an agreement, like all married couples should have an agreement like this. You don't go buy anything that costs money. I'm not talking about paint or tape for painting or paint brushes. I'm talking about if you're going to go buy new furniture, a room full of new furniture, you're talking several $1,000s. You're going to recarpet the house. Whatever you're buying, and it's going to be several $1,000s. You don't just do that without, we sit down and communicate. There's 2 things to make a marriage work: trust and respect. Of course, comes with trust and communication. Ours lasted 35 years, and we never divorced. He died. So I used to go with this cop to several different things, different events in several different towns, never spending the night away from home to where you go to a motel and sleep. But you leave before the sun came up, and you'd be back by midnight or so that same night. Yeah, you know who that is. You know who that is, Abe. And no, it wasn't Abe. We called him Johnny Law. Yeah, well, good deal. Good deal. This one's on 28 years. I don't know if he's still living or not. I don't know. He was, and I don't mean to cut him a new backside there, Abe, but he wasn't very smart. But we go to Wheaton, Illinois, and different places like that for different reasons. Different events. Because he said to me one day, I asked him, I says, hey Johnny Law, you want to ride with me? There ain't no sense in both of us paying for gas. And the first time we went, he rode with me. Drove his vehicle to my house, parked it, and we went. And from that date forward, it was always he wanted to drive. He was kind of a chauvinistic guy. And every time that guy would eat a powdered sugar donut, he had a lot of Norwegian in him. So he had kind of a pointed nose, long. No, I don't mean he was big nose, but he had kind of a straight pointed nose. And every time that guy would eat a powdered sugar donut, he'd have powdered sugar all the way around the end of his nose. I don't get it. And we used to sit and make fun of him all the time, right to his face, too. And he just laughed like hell. He says, cops and donuts. I says, yeah, you know why they make them round, don't you there, Johnny Law? He says, why is that? I says, so you cops don't get hurt on the corners. He just laughed. Yeah, he was on the Weather Channel once. Yeah, he was in one of the tornadoes in the school when the tornado hit up there. Yep, as a violent tornado survivor. Yep. Yeah, in the 60s. Yep. No, I'm not going to say any more other than that because, they can go back and find out who he is. And I don't know if he's still living or not. And you know what his brother did. So, yeah, we had lots of mad fun, man. We had lots of frickin' fun. I remember trying to get in bed one night. It was like 2 a.m. because he decided when he started driving, if he decided he wanted to stop for breakfast at midnight, because we stayed for the late portion of the, we always went for the late one. We didn't go for the daytime when it was too crowded. So we go for the late one. And we just go, window shopping. We'd do all kinds of crap because we'd leave before sunup. Yeah, I haven't either. I haven't talked to him since then either. That arrangement that I have in the hall, he sent that to me for when my husband passed. And that was a very expensive thing. Yeah, I don't know either. But I know what his brother did too. And so do you, Abe, and I'm not going to say what it is. Yep. I'll say this much. He didn't have any housekeeping skills. God almighty. I've been to his home several times. So has Abe. He had a back deck built all the way across the back of his house. He had sliding glass doors put in. But he had no housekeeping skills. Yeah, the guy's brother. We both know what the guy's brother did. We know what old Johnny Law's brother did. Yep. So. Yep. Welcome back, Cotter is about right. He's like somebody else we both know, Abe, without saying anything. That was in. How can I put this? I'm not sure how to put this. Not that this other person I'm talking about has housekeeping problems. I'm not saying that. I'm referring to the guy's brother. You know what I'm trying to say. Yep, the majority of them. The majority of them. Like I used to do VE testing. I used to teach Morse code. I used to teach basic electronics at Rock Valley College. And Johnny Law thought he was going to cheat on Morse code because he wanted to upgrade from a no tech license to a no code tech plus. And he's the one that made the cheat sheet. He wrote down the entire alphabet in letters down a page, and then in the center, he did it in 2 columns on each page, and then he wrote down what they consisted of, like an A, did-ah. He'd put a dot, and then he'd put a dash, did-ah, A, and a B, da, did-it. He put the dash and then 3 dots. And then when I'm giving the code practice test, he's going over referring to the cheat sheet, and I told him, what are you doing? What are you doing, Johnny Law? Yeah, a lot of them were in their 50s and 60s and the 90s. Yeah. I don't know why, unless it's because he learned what it consisted of, and he learned it at 5 words a minute code speed at 5 words a minute code. That's not how you learn Morse code, because if you learn it that way, gone fishing, then you have to unlearn it and relearn it at 5 word a minute speed, with the character speed being 18 to 20 words a minute. Oh yeah, if they're even, I mean, the majority of them are even gone. They're gone. They're just God. I knew this one guy that could sit there with a bug and he could do 40 words a minute and carry on a conversation. And he's sitting there listening to Morse code on a speaker, on a transceiver. And he's got what they call a bug. And he's sitting there writing down pertinent information as he's having a conversation with you. Yeah. I think he'd be older than that because he was older than I was. I don't think he'd be early 70s. I think he'd be early 80s. I don't know. Yeah, it's too bad you didn't take an interest in it and learn it, gone fishing, because all it is it's a different language. That's all it is. It's no different than learning Spanish, English, French, any other damn language. It's just another language. So you don't learn an L or an F. L and F are just backwards from each other. One's a did-it, and the other one's a did-it. You don't learn it by how many dits and how many dashes there are. You learn it by the sound of that character, and that's what he didn't do. Yep. Well, Raging Capricorn is a real piece of work. Let me just tell you that. He was the guy that said he was going to send 9 men of a specific ethnicity to my house to grape me. I wouldn't piss on Raging Capricorn if he was on fire. And that's against the oath I took as firefighter. Yep, you sure did. You, like I said, you were just a kid, you know, when I met you. Yeah, you met me the same day. Dude, my husband and I used to go to all this stuff together, but my husband was deaf. He used to work on headers, and he was deaf, and he had hearing aids. And I'll never forget when I finally talked him to go and get a hearing test to get hearing aids. And he said, well, I'm willing to buy one, but I'm not willing to buy 2 because they cost too much. I said, well, you know, that's a great idea. That's a fantastic idea, Bob. The next time you go to get glasses, just get 1 lens. There's no sense in getting 2. And he looked at me. Well, glasses are different. I said, how are they different? You have 2 eyes to see out of. You have 2 ears to hear out of. So how are glasses any different than hearing aids? Well, look at the cost. I said, I don't give a damn about the cost. Cost got nothing to do with it. I'm talking about what you're talking about. I used to make tapes for these students and teach the alphabet, the punctuation, the break signal, the slanted line, you know, and the short term stuff like and. For the word and, you send dit with the break between the E and the S. Dit. Not, you know, not an H. If you send it all together, it's an H. What you want to send is an ES. That represents the word and. Yeah, I know he warned you about me. Yep. I didn't take any crap from people back then either. I used to teach Morse code like ANHDU and then EIS&T. And then it goes on. It was so many letters at a time. And then when you learn one set, I'd send you the second set. And then I would test you on the first 2 sets. Yeah, see, you learned it different than I did. Yeah, B is just da did it, da did it, da did it. Those are all B's. Da did it. Music is based on Morse code, like the letter V. Did it da, did it da. Those are all V's. Did it da, did it da. A lot of classical music is all on. Based on the sounds of Morse code. Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. E is to me is just it just sounds like dit. That's it. Dit, dit, dit. That's an E. And A is a da 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 da. B is a da 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 da. C is a da 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 da. D is a da da da. E is, or F rather is a da 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 da. D is da da da. G is da da da. F and L are just backwards from each other. J is da 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 da. See, that's just bass backwards from a B. Yep, that's right. My husband put the coax in the lead line and the antenna on top of the old public safety building for the police department. Letters are 1 to 5 are the dits in the beginning, 6 to 0 are the das in the beginning. I mean, da da did da da, that's a comma. Da 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 da, that's a period. Question mark. Did da da did it? It ends in did it. A Q, letter Q's, payday today. That's what it sounds like. Payday today. And all numbers are 5 digits. And an error, what's an error there? What's an error? When you send an error with a key or a straight key or a keyer. And just hold it down. I mean, that's like, what the hell is that? Yeah, it's punctuation. Yep. And then you can go on. That's just the basic. Then you can go on to quotations and exclamation marks and all that other crap. But I told him, you want to learn that shit? Go learn it on yourself. Learn it yourself. Yeah. But I liked, I always sent with a straight key. So, and then I went to the keyer, which if the keyer, if you hold the 2 paddles together, you go da 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 da, as long as you hold them together. If you hold just the left one down, it's all dits. If you hold the right one down, it's all das. So yeah, comma, da 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 da. It sounds to me like a comma. And an F, did it da, did it, or did, wait a minute. Oh God, it's been so long. Oh, my back. Oh. Did it audit is an F. Did audit it is an L. They're just backwards. Yeah, no, Lids kids are space cadets. That's right. Did you fail it? Is F it. Is F. Did it audit? Yeah. That's an F. Did it audit? An L is it did audit it. They're just backwards. But what you have to do is you have to learn the sound. You have to learn the sound, not what it consists of. That's where people make their mistake. So you can send your name at 5 words a minute, 18 character speed. So Diana would be dotted it, did it, did-ah, dot it, did-ah. Abe would be da did. So it's sent, each character is sent at a specific word speed, and then the spacing between the letters are at 5 words a minute. That's the proper way to learn it. And you learn it from 18 to 20 word a minute character speed at 5 words a minute. You know, did I fail it? Did it odd it? Did it odd it? It even looks like an F. In the sound, it looks like an F. If you're going to write the F in cursive, did it odd it? Did it is going up, and then you go straight down, and then dot it is coming back up from the bottom. Did it odd it? Or did it odd it? Did it is up, da is down, did it is up. It sounds to me like a cursive F. Did it is an L. It sounds like it's going up and then coming right back down, and you're done. It's like a cursive L. And then a slant bar is well, they ain't no sense in trying to even discuss this crap, because these people, they're not going to be able to retain it anyway, because they're not going to practice it. They need a tape to listen to. Is what they need. They need a tape to listen to, and then copy what you take one letter at a time. Take the first letter, then you add the second letter, and then they listen to the first two, and then they copy down which letter they've heard, and then you add the third. Da did da is a bar. Da did da. That's a slash. You know, and then there's like I said before, there's quotations, there's exclamation marks, there's all these other things, you know, that they can learn, but they can learn that stuff on their own. That's what I told them. I'm not teaching advanced Morse code. I'm teaching basic Morse code. Da did a da dit is a bar. Da did a da dit. There you go. Da did a da dit. That's a bar, slant bar. But this guy that I knew, man, he was fabulous with a bug. I used to sit there and just watch his fingers go. He's sitting there carrying a conversation, and he's sending Morse code at 40 to 50 words a minute on a bug. And he's talking, looking at you. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, the first one is yeah, I'm not going to say what it is. Gone fishing decoded. Yeah, there you go. Yep. The only letter that ever gave me a problem was the letter Q. I don't know. It's the only letter that ever gave me a problem. Everything else I had, man, it was no problem. My kids used to, when they were young, they would go out and sing Morse code, swinging on the swing set. They didn't know what the hell they were singing, and they didn't know that they were sending the alphabet or words, but they would memorize some of the sounds, and they go out and sing Morse code, and everybody thought they were freaks. Yep, T license. Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm working on, is T license. Do I have to have it? Nope. It's just something to do. It's just something to do. I think that's how I lost my hearing, was listening to code, because what you do is when you got about 10 or 15 damn different frequencies of, and when I say different frequencies, because you zero beat, when you want to get on the frequency and talk to somebody, you zero beat them on Morse code. Then use a clarifier to throw it off to whatever pitch you want. Well, you get 10 or 15 stations in there, and all you hear is a bunch of different tones of higher and lower tones of dits and das. So you, like I said, you zero beat them. You get right dead on the frequency that they're on, then use a clarifier to offset that. Yeah, I've got credit for my 20 words a minute. But I'll tell you something that drives me insane. It'll drive me insane quicker than anything, and I can't do it. I cannot send Morse code at 5 word a minute code. I can't do it. I can't do it. And I used to love going down on the novice band and giving those guys something to listen to. And I was told I sent perfect Morse code. It was absolutely perfect. It was like listening to W1AW, you know. "20 words a minute is nothing. If you memorize the sound, you can do it at 15 starting out. 20 words is nothing. Yeah. Yep. You need 5 words a minute at 13 Farnsworth speed. I get it. Yeah, I get it. 13 word a minute character speed is too slow for me. I can't do it that way. Can't do it. Because I have to sit there and concentrate on what letter I'm going to send and then try to slow it down. Hey, same old, same old. Good evening. We're sitting here talking about Morse code. I had someone in the YouTube community tell me Morse code is not used anymore. It's never used anymore. And this was a few years back. I told her, I says, you're incorrect. You are freaking correct. It's used every freaking day, all day long, every day, 7 days a week. No, it's not, she said. I said, yes, it is. Because if you have a business, take the police department as an example. You have to transmit your FCC call sign every 10 minutes or at the end of each conversation. That's the law. That's FCC rules and regs. Right. Right. I mean, you're right. But you have to memorize the sound of each letter. And then, That'd be blame Katie. That's right. That would be, they have to do it. If you listen to, and you can listen to Police Band, it's not that hard. You know, not that hard. You'll hear it all the time. It is used every day of the week, 24/7. It's automatically sent. They don't sit there and say it. They send it in Morse code. It's automatically set up that way. They just send it. It's programmed to do that because they have to follow FCC rules and regulations. If they don't, they're not going to use it. Highway 60 is closed down. Wow. Yeah. Mesa's full of that crap. That's where Betsy Peeler's brother is in Mesa. You all know who Betsy Peeler is, right? You know who her brother is, right? Yeah. Well, the sun is finally below the peak of the mountain. Finally. Officer involved shooting with 1 hurt so far. I know Mesa, I think it was Mesa the other day, got an officer shot and killed. From what I heard. They sure do. So do police departments. Mesa is very dangerous. Spitting Cobra Cop Watch is Betsy Peeler's brother. He lives in Mesa. Yep. I wonder how James Freeman's doing right about now. I want to know if he ever got any medical treatment. I want to know if he was actually put in a hospital for that police chief doing a body slam. They grabbed his neck and did a body slam on concrete with him. Yeah, I hope your family's okay there, Abe. Spitting Cobra Cop Watch used to get his ass right in the middle of a shootout between police and the last time I listened to his channel, between the police department and a house, not a police department, of police officers on top of a building trying to take someone, shooting out of a house. And then he's got to get right up there on a goddamn building right next to him, in between them. That's how stupid that guy is. He never even had enough respect for his sister, who was Betsy Peeler, to announce her passing. Where are you at? It's El Nino year. Yep. You're in Washington. Okay. Who are you talking to when you said no, he did not? I have had supper. I had a burger and I think 6 potato chips with French onion dip on them. Yeah, I get it. Not nearly as hot today here. 105.8 here at stream time. I mean, that's hot, but it's not nearly as hot as it has been. Yeah, I see there's a lot of school shootings right now, too. I don't know what the hell is going on. Yeah, he did nothing. He did nothing in memory of his sister. One of these days, I'm telling you, one of these days, they're going to take him and throw his ass in jail for interference. And that's where he belongs. You don't do that. You don't get on top of a building next to police officers on top of another building when they're in a shootout with a house in front of them. Sure, probably. A lot of it's drugs. A lot of it's drugs or domestic violences. The last time I watched Spitting Cobra, that's what it was a domestic. And they're trying to get the guy to come out. And then Spitting Cobra's got to be right up on top of he was up on top of another building or on top of a vehicle or something right next to the police. And they kept telling him to get down and move back. And he decided he didn't have to do that because he was Spitting Cobra. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you've been listening to the news? I've caught the news a couple of times, and they're calling them active shooters at schools. So I don't know. That's just what I've heard on the news. Could be. Could be. Could very well be. You heard he was at the hospital but not checked into it. Yeah, that's the last I heard, too, on James Freeman. Over on Tux and Pigs Under Pressure. And then they had 10 cops. 10 cops after the police chief did that. Then they had 10 cops jump on top of him and just beat the living supreme crap out of him. And some independent guy that was there actually got video on his cell phone of the entire event, and the cops didn't know he had that. So I don't know. James Freeman does not believe in violence. He's never been violent. Never. He's what the cops would call passive aggressive. In other words, he just runs his mouth, runs his lip. And I know his real name too, by the way. Yep. And they were on that video I was watching Pigs Under Pressure. You can't watch two separate ones, even if you got the devices that you can do it on. You can't sit there and listen to two different coverages of the same thing at the same time. And I was listening to Pigs Under Pressure instead of Mark. Yep. But I know that Pigs Under Pressure called and asked if he was hospitalized or if he was in for treatment and just let to go. And they wouldn't, of course, they're not going to give that information out. Well, I'll tell you one PD he don't want to play with, and that's TPD. He don't want to play with TPD. Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know him personally, but I know his name and I've talked to him, so I've never met him face to face. And he's been right here in Tucson several times. I know one of the last times I saw him in Tucson, he was walking down a street, and they had canines and helicopters looking for somebody that was in Tucson, and they were looking for some guy. I don't remember what they were looking for him for. I don't know what charges they had on him or anything, but. TPD sucks. Tuck is, good old Mark Brown. He's and he puts his name out there. He has had the living hell beat out of him by TPD. FTP died? I have no idea. I have no idea. You're talking about, God, what's his name? I know it as well as I know my own, but I haven't said it for so long. It's pathetic. He was the guy that jumped out the frickin' window on the concrete with the cops standing there looking at him and thought he was going to get away. FTP did. His daughter had accused him of doing bad things and trying to do worse things to her. And I heard that conversation too. They put that on the air. That was done right on the air. Her mother and her daughter, which would be FTP's daughter, was accusing him of doing things he didn't have any idea that he needed to be doing, put it that way. He claimed he never touched her, and she outright called him a liar and then told him what he did. But when she told him what he didn't deny it. I heard that with my own ears. Yeah, I don't watch Frauditor Troll. He calls anybody that's an auditor a frauditor. Who the hell is he? Who the hell is he? Fuck the police is FTP. Fuck the police. That's why he called him FTP. I think his name is Mark Burgess. Unless I'm mistaken. And his own wife called him that, and so did his daughter. Called him right by name. He's the idiot that he was in a house, opened the window, trying to get away from the police. The police were at the door, trying to get him to come to the door, and he wouldn't go to the door. He opens the window, side window over the driveway, which is, it's not 2-story, but it's not one either off the drive. And he jumped out the window on the concrete, and the cops are standing there with their arms folded looking at him. You just had a big bowl of ice cream, cookies and cream flavored. Oh my. He was charged. He was charged. I don't know what the charges were, but that's been a heck of a long time ago. I think he even screwed up one ankle when he jumped out on the concrete, out the window. Yeah, I got to get out of here, guys. I'm 8 minutes over. Yeah. So I got to get out of here. It's been a good stream. I thank everybody for coming in. Like I said, Frauditor Troll is an idiot. No, it's okay. I got 2 hours and 8.5 minutes in, so it's time for me to get out of here. I got to get a shower, and it takes me about right at an hour to shower, so I need to get the hay out of here. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The stream is already set up. Please pay particular attention to the old salty rant in the outro when CBP were rolling him around on the ground. I'm tickled as hell every time I see that. So a lot of it is conjecture, Abe. A lot of it is conjecture. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. 73. Got to put that in there before I hit the button. Yep, it does. You need to get some of that stop pain spray. It'll last about a half an hour, but it'll take a lot of the it'll numb you all the way down to the bone on your legs. So Google I'll show you what it looks like. You can get it in a roll-on, or you can get it in a spray. And the spray you can tip anyway, and it'll still spray. It doesn't have to be upright to spray. And then when you tip it to the side, it doesn't, because it's not the way it works. It's called Stop Pain. And this deadens on contact. It helps. Stop Pain. Amazon, my sweet. They arthritis, muscle aches, joint and back pain. And if you get the roll-on looks like this. That's the Equate brand at Walmart. But this is the real McCoy right here. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. Yes, it works. There are times I will spray that on my back when I just can't. God, I can't stand it anymore, and I'll take 5 aspirin. So with that, I'm out of here, guys. Everybody have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow night, 73.
Viewer discretion is advised.
They just think it's so funny. No!
We
are federales. You know, the mountain police.
If you're the police, where are your badges?
Badges? We ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.